Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, it is finally here. New Eldar Codex. And this video is a genuine unboxing. I've just had a quick flick through this, that's it. So I haven't really read anything, so hopefully my reaction is going to be exactly what you would have seen if I'd just bought this from the shop. So, first up, the actual Codex itself is my first ever hardback book, and I have to say I'm loving it. I was a bit dubious about hardback books, just thinking they'd be difficult to flick through. But to be fair, my other books, they've got quite damaged really on the edges, and I'm quite fussy with my Codexes. I like them to be in nice condition, and I see this book staying in nice condition, so I'm quite chuffed with that. Actually having a look at the sort of front section, just briefly really, because I'm not too interested at this stage in the front section, but I have to say I flicked through this and there's some awesome stuff in here, some awesome artwork, and obviously it goes through all of the fluff, etc. But to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about that. The layout of the book looks just as good as all the other codexes. I like the nice big page number in the corner, which I find in some of the older ones. I think it's the Necron one, I think. It's a really small number, and I hate that. It's really difficult to see the pages. But more importantly, it gets straight to the stats of these things. I'm so interested. The one that I really want to have a look at is the Wave Serpent, because I was particularly scared that the Wave Serpent would be gone and they'd produce a new tank that was an assault tank, and the Wave Serpent would just be, you know, useless. But I have to say, well done Games Workshop. I mean, they've kept all of the units there. We've got some nice funky toys to play with, you know, the big knights and then the flyers. Very disappointed there's no warp spiders, plastic warp spiders. New jet bikes. I wasn't too bothered about that. I've got my jet bikes anyway, so you know that's not too bothered for me personally. So it's nice to see that most of the stuff basically has stayed the same, which is good, because we don't like having stuff that's going to be wasted. So I think they've done quite a good job there. Right, let's get straight on. This is the interesting bit. Right, okay. HQs. Looking through the HQs, they pretty much seem very similar point wise. I mean, Eldrad is what, 205, he used to be, I think 210. Most of the Phoenix Lords seem to be similar point wise and potentially similar stats. Got Morgan Ra there, 195 points. Farseer, now this is the interesting one. So the Farseer is 100 points, and it seems like the auto, doom and fortune, etc. that you can choose is just gone. There's a new table, and the table does have doom and fortune and stuff, but it's gone random, which is not that good really. I mean, these, as I said, these are just initial thoughts, but let's have a look. So we can take the Runes of Fate. And the Primaris power is Guide. Okay, well that's not too bad. I mean, that's basically the same as the normal Primaris powers that most people go for. And then I suppose on a roll of a 2 you get Doom. On a roll of a 5 you get Fortune. Mind War. I have to see if they've done anything good with Mind War, because Mind War got really nerfed in the last updates. So it's gone a little bit random, but maybe it's going to make up for it in other areas. We'll have to look at that. Runes of Warding, I was really interested in that. 10 points, and I had to flick through. It's basically useless. You can only use it once, and it just gives you a better Deny the Witch roll. And Runes of Witnessing, again, that just seems useless. It's still 15 points, and that's a once only. So it appears at first glance, without reading it, that our anti-psychic power defense is just gone. I mean, unless there's something in here that I'm missing, which could be the case, because as I said, I've not read it, I'm just flicking. I think with a new codex, that is what happens. You tend to just flick, try to gather as much information as you can, but ultimately, once you've flicked through it, you just got to sit down and read it page for page. Warlock Council. So I've been told that you basically use these a little bit like Wolfguard. Wolfguard generate, and they generate powers in the rune battle. Oh dear. So it appears that, yes, oh dear, the Warlocks have lost their auto take. So you can no longer take like a unit of Destructors. You've got to go on this psychic power chart. So it's going to be random what you get on your Warlocks. I do not like the sound of that, to be honest with you. It's going to be more to come, I think, on that. Right, troops. Troops choices, Dire Avengers, 65 points. And sadly their gun range is exactly like it used to be. But we've got this cool thing of the hitting on a 6 is a little bit like rending. Defender Guardians, Storm Guardians. Oh, I've actually gone back to being called Defender Guardians. It's the interesting one, the jet bikes, 51 points now only, so it's gone down. And the Shuriken Cannon is 10 points still, so we've got cheaper jet bikes, which is good. We may need more of those. First glance, it seems like Rangers aren't so good. You can't have Pathfinders anymore, but I think that's what that special character does. It upgrades them to Pathfinders, but then that means a investment of points. And how many points is that new character? He's 140 points. Wow. Okay, here we go. Dedicated Transport, Wave Serpent. Now this is the one. So, helicopter going past. Quite unusual. Okay, so it's 115 points. It's actually gone up in points, which is what we knew. But check this out. Twin linked Bright Lance, 5 points. Scatter lasers, 5 points. So the cost of the guns has dramatically been reduced, which is fantastic. That's really going to help. It isn't, sadly, an assault vehicle. So unless we come to Banshees and they've got something good, I think that's might spell the death of Banshees still, unfortunately. Holds 12 models. They've got this new Serpent Shield, so they can use defensive or offensive, which is quite cool. Doesn't really tell you here, but I can tell by the Wargear, having a quick look earlier, that you can increase the cover save on there, the Jinx save, which is good. A few other bits and pieces. I think overall, obviously it would be nice to have like 40-point Wave Serpents, but at the end of the day, Wave Serpents always have been like really good transports. And I think it's nice that we've kept that. It's nice that we've got an expensive transport, you know, because, well, obviously there's hull points, etc. But at least, I mean, I don't have too many trouble with my transports as they are. So if I can get a similar thing, have it cheaper, then that's good. I also noticed that our missile launchers also have the Skyfire rule, the flak rule. So potentially Wave Serpents might be moving over to missile launchers. Although, I don't know, scatter lasers for 5 points. They're twin linked anyway, so could be quite good. Elites, Banshees. As far as I can see, there's nothing in there that makes them better. Only can run some more if you want to run, but why would you run unless you can assault after? As I said, I really need to have a look at the rules in depth on these, and we will, and we'll come to that at some point. Fire Dragons, up in points, 110 now for 5. 3+ save, I mean, okay. It's more expensive, the unit's going to be more expensive, but hey ho, if I'm saving points on the jet bikes, if I'm saving points on the Wave Serpents, then I can cope with an extra, I think it's what, an extra 30 points, something like that. So I can cope with that, that's not going to be too bad, and I get 3+ save, so that's pretty good really, to be fair, and it gives you half a chance when you get out the tank of actually surviving, which is good. Harlequins, 90 points for 5. Shadow Seer always has the Veil of Tears, so that looks pretty much the same. I wouldn't expect too much different from these down to the Dark Eldar Codex. Wraith Guards, there's 160 points for 5. And Wraith Blades, the same points, 160 for 5. Could be an interesting unit to have a closer look at, that's for sure. Swooping Hawks still have the Sky Leap thing, which is good. It's very useful. Warp Spiders, why we don't have a new model I don't know, but anyway. So 95 points for those, and their class is jetpack infantry, same. 3+ save, the same. Death spinners are in there. Battle focus, which I think is the run stroke shooting in the same turn. Shining spears, 75 points. Aspect armor, laser lance, that's still there. It's exciting times. To be fair, it doesn't seem like there's too much change really. In a lot of this stuff. Hopefully everything's in there, all the extra little bits of war gear and stuff. I'm just gonna, polish the units off and hopefully just make them more usable. But I'm actually quite pleased there's no major changes. Just from the point of view that I just don't want to have to start my army again. So that's really good. And as long as they've tweaked some of the key units to be in line with what we need it to be, then that's good. Crimson Hunter is 160 points. Wow. Front, side and rear armor 10. So yeah, that's a lot of points. Vipers, 50 points each. So Viper Squadron, 150 points if you take 3. Some nice stuff coming through here though. What was it I saw earlier? Yes. Okay, what was it I saw? War Walkers. Look at this. Ballistic skill 4. Vipers. Ballistic skill 4. Wow, we actually hit on 3s. My goodness me. That is a big bonus. So, I mean, you can live with the points being the same if you hit on 3s. I mean, Eldar have got all these targeting matrices and guiding systems, yet we used to hit on 4s. Wow. Now we hit on 3s. That's amazing. So the Vulcan, 125 points, but hitting on 3s, that's going to make it much better. War Walker Squadron again hitting on 3s. I mean, they're exactly the same stats, armor 10. War Walkers open topped. Wow. Oh dear. So yeah, War Walkers are now open topped. That's a bit of a blow. Wraith Lords 120, and then let's have a look. So Bright Lance 20, so it's 140. And then missile launchers 30. This is 170. I was playing 155 points before for that. So character, monstrous creature. 2 shuriken catapults. Where's the flamers? Oh dear, no flamers either. Oh no, here we go. May exchange any shuriken catapult for a flamer. Whew, that's lucky. Okay, Wraith Knight, of course, here we go. 240 points. And I've got to really have a close look at that because it's a £70 model. Wow, 70 quid. I would like to buy one just for fun, whether it's good or bad, but ultimately I need to get the rules going before I do anything with that. Quite a nice reference sheet here, which is quite good. It's got all the different powers on there. All the different profiles, so it's quite nice to have that instant thing. I don't know if that's on the other new codexes, but that's quite useful. So have a quick look at the Wargear. So the Forge of the Vol. So, excuse me. So this is where everything's listed. Laser weapons. Scatter laser, strength 6, AP 6. Heavy 4 laser lock. If a model is firing one or more weapons with this special rule and also one or more other weapons, roll to hit with the weapons with the laser lock special rule first. If the laser lock weapon caused one or more hits, treat all weapons on the same model yet to fire this phase as being twin linked for the rest of the phase. Okay, could be potentially quite useful. Flak missile, nice to see that in there. Distortion weapons, seems like there's quite a few different ones, probably because of the big new stuff. Fusion weapons, so fusion gun, strength 8 AP 1, fusion fire pike is the same. Scorpion's claw, so have a look at that. So, excuse me, I'm just reading whilst I'm looking here. This is, as I said, this is pretty much the first time I've looked at these, so What you see is what you get as I'm talking here. Chain sabers, melee rending. Chain sabers, rending. Laser lance, same strength, 6 inches, only 6 inches. So the shining spears really haven't changed too much. Strength 6 AP3, lance weapon, mirror swords, melee, master crafted. A set of mirror swords is comprised 2 weapons and hence grants an additional attack. They used to say that they used to ignore armour saves. Doesn't seem to say that now. Power blades, Eldar armour. So mesh armour gives you a 5+ armour save. Aspect armour 4+, heavy aspect 3+, hollow suits 5+ invulnerables, that's your harlequins. Phoenix armour 2+ save. Rune armour 4+ invulnerable save. Witch staff. Those struck by physically imbued witch staff risk having their very soul set aflame even if their bodies are not broken. So it's got flesh bane and armour blade and soul blades, whatever that is. We'll come to that at some point. Eldar jet bike. Model riding jet bike is a 3+ armour save and twin link shuriken catapults. Their unit also changes to Eldar jet bike. So yeah, that's exactly as we know it. Flip bout, harlequins are not slowed by difficult terrain. Ghostlum, here we go. Now, if a model with a Ghostlum suffers an unsaved wound from perils of the warp, he can prevent it by immediately expending a warp charge point, if he has one. So not as good. It's a shame, isn't it, when you see this stuff and it's like, well, that's been nerfed. But I suppose you have to look at the other stuff that's got better. I mean, nothing stays the same, so I suppose you just got to have to adapt, really. Scatter shield. The bearer has a 5+ invulnerable save. Whenever the bearer passes one or more saving throws using its scatter shield, all units, friend and foe, within 6 inches must test if they had just been hit by a weapon with a blind special rule. That's interesting. Seems quite random as well. So we're on to the vehicle upgrades. Let's have a look here. So your Serpent Shield, in its shooting phase, the Wave Serpent can deactivate its shield and shoot bursts of energy within the following profile. Strength 7, 60 inches. Assault D6, +1 inch. +1. Pinning, ignores cover. That's pretty good. Spirit Stones, vehicle with upgrade ignores crew shaken, results on a roll of a 2, crew stun rolls on a roll of a 4+. Star Engines, a non-walker vehicle with this upgrade can move 24 inches when moving flat out. A walker with this upgrade instead runs additional 3 inches. Yeah, okay. Hollow Fields, provided the vehicle moved in its previous turn, it gains a +1 cover save. If it does not already have a cover save, it gains a 6+ cover save. Pretty good. How much are the vehicle upgrades? Let's have a quick look. Okay. What does it say? Wave Serpent, Twin Linked, Eldar Missile Launcher, may exchange Twin Link. Wave Serpent may take any item in the vehicle equipment list. Okay, so is there points there then? A lot of flicking when you get a new codex. New warlord traits, some good, some bad. Usual stuff really with those. Now where was I? I was just there just a second ago. Come here. Eldar vehicle equipment. No, there's no points there. Oh well, I'm sure we'll find that. So there you go. That is the new codex. Overall, not too many changes. There's going to be no second wave of new models because there's no more new models in the book that we haven't got already. Which I must admit, I was expecting a bit of a bigger release really, but I'm not disappointed because it means I don't have to spend too much money. It actually means that a Wraith Knight potentially is going to be doable because I don't have to buy anything else. You know, there's nothing else in there, but just Wraith Guard, Wraith Knight and some flyers. So that's actually quite doable, so I'm chuffed from that point of view. Really looking forward to getting to grips with this. As I said, all this flicking business is good, but it's difficult to absorb it. What I really need to do now is sit down and read this page by page, and we shall look closer at all the units once again in my learning curve as we progress. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate you hanging around to the end if you did. So yeah, thanks for watching, and lots more to come.